Right, so I was just taking a meditation class with Dave from Chaotopia, Dave Lee, and sometimes when I'm doing meditation, I can't help myself but write notes. I can actually write with my eyes closed, so that helps. But I was thinking about initials, like people use different things for bind rune, uh, and I was thinking, well, my first thought was vying for my attention, divine intervention. So you notice the obvious rhyme scheme of that. And my son was talking to me during a meditation class, which I could see as an interruption, but I see it as a blessing. My dear friend Sonia, one time during a meditation, was saying, "Oh, it's so cute that your son's talking." And it is. On Instagram, you're not going to get very much of this. Check me out on Facebook or YouTube. But um, divine intervention can mean so many different things to different people. The initials themselves, DI, you could think die, or you could think Princess Diana. Interdimension, ID, interdimensional. Id, you could think of that from a psychological perspective. Intervention can be seen as a former addict, as something negative, yet it's also positive. In this world of duality, Odin finds a way to unite all things from the extreme. Goodbye, Instagram. I'll upload this in just a second. But now my centrifugal focus will be YouTube and Facebook. So anyways, my dog was barking at me during meditation, and obviously you could see that as being interruptive. However, if you keep an open mind and think about, what could this mean? The highest of hounds, the holy hag of Helheim, Garm, could be barking at an intruder as the dog was barking at another dog outside. But it could also be welcoming him with a wagging tail. Without fail, we must be able to swing with the punches, ride with the tide, turn the tables in our favor inside where we reside. This is the mountain to climb. In our head. It can seem like anything is an obstacle, or you could turn it in your favor by divine intervention if need be, for you will see anything can be an obstacle made out to be friendly or enemy. Friendly fire, not our desire, but what happens all too often in war. If you're at war with yourself, you must find a way to have peace of mind. Once you climb the mountain, you will always overcome any and all obstacles. This is why I find Rocky Marciano to be such an admirable man, a fighter. But if you look beyond just being a boxer and start to see the world in metaphor, you will find a new way to explore the spiritual meanings. Someone asked why a writer finds something like boxing to be a great metaphor. It's because anything can be a metaphor. And boxing, they never give up. Especially Rocky Marciano. You watch that guy box? To me, he was the best of all times. He would go 15 rounds, which in and of itself is amazing. He would get the crumbs beat out of him, and yet he comes back. And if you look at how he trains, that's what it's all about. The man swims underwater with weights, lifting weights. And it shows because in round 15, all of a sudden, the guy's pretty much knocked out on his feet. It looks like he's knocked out. If you looked at him, you're thinking, that is not a conscious being right there. Looks like he's about to die, He's not too well. But then all of a sudden, bing, a bell goes off, not in the boxing round arena, but in his brain. Bing, all of a sudden, he gets into training program mode and boom, 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 bam, knocks the guy out. How can you do that? It's impossible, right? So, as I was typing during my meditation class with Dave Lee from Chaotopia, which I would highly suggest to check out, I thought to myself, I mustn't rock the boat. Do you know why? Because I had my eyes closed and then all of a sudden I realized, I've got a candle next to me. Well, I don't want to rock the table in this case because then I'll spill wax. Not so much worried about the fire, but the wax getting everywhere is not that great. Now, in Mazdan culture or Zoroastrian culture, as Dr. Flower's original magic would tell you, they go up high into the mountains to meditate with fires. The divine spark is seen as being this penultimate energetic or spiritual symbol, right? Like the rune Kanaz from the Elder Futhark. But anyone that knows the runes knows that you've got to control this fire, otherwise what do you have? A wildfire. And you can imagine if you go high up into the mountains and you knock your fire over that you're using for meditation, it will cease to be peaceful. Yes, that would not be a good thing. Fire's bad when it's out of control. But if you can have it in control, that's how you cook food. We would be dead without it. So, let me see, because I am reading my notes as I check this out. That's what I was saying too. So, you're meditating, and if you need to have complete peace in order to meditate, you're not going to get very far, right? Because whether you're out in a mountain or you're in a condominium in Manhattan, if you've got cars driving by, you're going to be interrupted, aren't you? Yep. And what if a fly flies on your nose? Bzzz. Well, you could look up the meaning of flies and realize that in Egyptian times, a fly was a pin for the military, is one of the highest ranking honors you could have. Or you could get annoyed and think, I'm never going to meditate again because a fly flew on my nose, and flies barf, they're so disgusting. And you could just have a heck of a time, couldn't you? It depends on if you let it rock your boat or not, now doesn't it? And that's something that actually I learned from Lemony Snicket's and a series of unfortunate events. How funny is that? A seeming kid's book has taught me plenty. My son and I have been reading it since about Yuletide or Christmas time, and we're on book number, I believe we're on book 11 now. So, the most magical of numbers would say Aleister Crowley. And that's a lot of books to read, I tell you. Every book of those is a little bit over 200 pages, so I was calculating, and that's a lot. That's good stuff. So, that's another thing I was going to say. Self-initiation. What are you initiating yourself in? Life. Self-initiation, the Spanish word for sí or yes, S-I, self-initiation. Or you could think, initiate the self is, which I am using in my novel. However, I will not disclose what I am using those letters for. Why? Because you keep things secret and they have more punch. And like I was saying, you roll with the punches, right? And that's something the other greatest boxer in some people's eyes, Muhammad Ali, would say. He was good with the, sting like a bee and float like a butterfly and all that stuff. As you can tell, I'm not using my notes now. This is all off the top of my head. Thank you very much. Anyways, though, I've reached about 7 minutes, and yep, I'm done. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.